Hello, welcome to another Legacy video. Today we're playing the Showcase Challenge in Legacy on September 22nd. And I'm playing Old Faithful Blue-Black Froginator. It's going great for me in various events. And I am trying two Stifles today because a lot of the ways that people have adapted to this deck are through kind of activated and triggered ability hate cards like Fairy Macabre or Nihil Spellbomb, stuff like that. So embedding two Stifles in this deck acts as an answer to those cards and also is good in the mirror because you can like stifle an Atraxa trigger, Archon of Cruelty, fetch lands, wastelands against you, all sorts of things like that. Stifle's really good against the Eldrazi decks, or I guess decent against the Eldrazi decks because you can stifle like the Devourer of Destiny trigger, this guy, right here. So anyway, yeah, this is a pretty standard Blue-Black Froginator deck. I don't think I need to go over every card with you. It's the hybrid tempo reanimation shell that has been dominating Legacy for the last year-ish, something like that. Over in the sideboard, because I cut the Tamios from the main deck to fit the Stifles, I have one Tamio in the board. I just really like the card. I'm playing one Unlicensed Hearse, as well as kind of like a anti-painter, anti-mirror card. I've got a Damping Sphere here, which is good against the big mana decks, good against like the Mystic Forge decks. It's okay against Eldrazi, it's good against Storm. Got one Force of Negation for the combo stuff. 3 Consigned to Memory and 1 Harbinger of the Seas as a really shout to how much I respected the Eldrazi deck. I think that deck is really good. Got some removal, got some Bowmasters, got some Barrowglyphs for the fair game plan. Got a 3rd Brazen Borrower out in the sideboard because I'm playing 2 in the main deck. Ways to, bounce Merit Lage tokens, Chalice of the Voids, what have you. Overall, I think it's a pretty well-rounded deck. This is a huge event. I think it's something like almost 300 players today, so it's going to be a big one. I'll see you all for round 1. Hello, we're here for round 1, and against D. Mianete, who is very kind, and said that they love my channel, and said GLHF. I said hi, good luck. So let's do this. They're on the play, and Polluted Delta Pass. Are they a big enough fan to also be playing Blue-Black Froginator? We'll see. Fetching basic, smart. I know what they're up against. Okay, Tamio, so it could be the mirror. I think I'm motivated to go Torment Thoughtseize here. Just to kind of, if I can rip a Brainstorm, that would be great. Otherwise, I drew a Brainstorm. If I can take a Brainstorm out of their hand, that would be great. Otherwise, I just understand the context of their hand. If they have to daze me here, setting them back from 1 land down to 0 is more punishing than 2 down to 1. Like being able to cast like a 2-drop on turn 2 and then dazing is not so bad, but going from 1 land to 0 lands is a pretty big setback, so we'll see if they daze here. This long think makes me think they do have a daze, so we'll see. Daze confirmed, Thoughtseize traded with it. And so now I have, in some ways, taken back the play. Not going to force that. I want to save my force to fight over the Entomb Reanimate thing that I'm hoping to win the game with. So they're going to attack with Tamio. If they have a Wasteland, they might Wasteland me here because opening up Underground Sea Thoughtseize is the same kind of play I'd make if I had no backup lands. But no, they're playing it safe. Now they're pondering. Okay, so Tamio's not flipping this turn. Let's see here. So on my turn, I will likely play a fetch land and then Brainstorm. But I could also just play the Brainstorm before doing a fetch in case I want to bin something with Undercity Sewers. Kind of a hard choice. Let's see what our opponent does with this Ponder. Should give us some insights into their hand. They're thinking. They chose not to shuffle, so whatever it is, they think it's sufficient. I drew another land, so now I think I'm going to play this land then Brainstorm. I really need this to resolve. Okay, drew too many lands. That's okay. I'll put away Sewers and Island, I think. And then I'm going to... I could potentially just Entomb right now. The reason why I would do this is so that if I find a reanimation spell that, is more likely to resolve. But the fact that I don't have a reanimation spell right now, and I might want to like daze a frog and not get dazed back, makes me think that I'm better off just waiting a little bit with this Entomb. Not go as face up as I would otherwise have to do. Like right now I'm still representing Fatal Push, right? These glue tokens are going to be a problem in a long game. This Brainstorm is going to flip Tamiyo, which is also a problem in a long game, which I hope we don't have. So my plan after all of this is to end step Entomb. And then I'm going to try really hard to find a reanimation spell. Given that my opponent has a Tamiyo, I think I'm going to go Archon of Cruelty, so I can remove their Tamiyo. Let's see here. Yes, they've plussed. That makes sense. They're fetching. Okay. I could and should have entombed right there. Now they're Thoughtseizing me. So now I'm going to entomb in response to the Thoughtseize. And we'll see what happens. They could fight over this, at which point I can daze that. Yeah, so I can now daze back. And now a force on my entomb. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I have to fight over this. And then the Thoughtseize is going to rip the Ponder. But if I draw a reanimation spell, I'm in really good shape. I'm going to get Archon of Cruelty. And Thoughtseize takes Ponder. And now we hope to find one of those reanimation spells. I found another Daze, which is not great, not the worst. Eventually we'll find something. Here's hoping. So maybe Tamiyo takes down to regrow a Force of Will, or something like that. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Nope, Tamiyo's going straight up. Up, up, up. And then 2 mana for the clue token. Ponder, we'd like to see that. Daze, Bowmaster. Okay, I'm going to daze the Bowmaster. That's good for me. Okay, so Ponder, found Entomb, Thoughtseize, that's not going to do it. Any order shuffle. Okay, so now I get another Surveil. I get 1 Surveil, basically, before this Tamiyo goes up to 8 and then can -7. Of note, Stifle is also a hit, a success, because I can stifle the -7 ability, and that's essentially almost as good at this point for not losing the game. So if I can get this Archon into play, I'm happy with that. If I can get a Stifle on top, I'm happy with that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ship it probably. Brazen Borrower also works, I suppose. One's Pondering. It chose to shuffle. Wonder what they found. Pausing here. Okay, they shuffled and they've taken Tamiyo up to 8. I'm going to fetch a Surveil land here. They hope to find something good. Fatal Push does not do it. Entomb does not do it either. Okay, maybe worth just trying to fight through it all anyway. We'll see if they go for it. I mean, there's no reason not to, but, Yep. Tamiyo draws a billion cards and is going to put us away. Probably. But, you know, I'm going to fight it through a little bit. It's a showcase challenge. Frog is in play with 23 cards in hand, so this is huge. Spellbomb, I'll concede to a main deck Spellbomb, but now also I fully know my opponent's on blue-black tempo. There's no animation in all this. It's just the blue-black tempo deck. So let's sideboard. Okay, on the play against them, I think I can probably cut like 1 Entomb. I can cut my forces. I don't really want to trade forces. They don't have too many forcible things. Borrowers are fine for like Murktides and Spellbombs and stuff. I want these guys. Pale Push, Barrogoyf, Bowmaster, Tameo. These are all great. It's Borrowers and maybe, but I have these 5 cards I don't really want. I could potentially cut like a days. Cut a Wasteland since they're showing basics. Stifle is not that good against them. It's good against the Spellbomb. Maybe I trim 1 Stifle. I'm on the play and they haven't seen it yet, so maybe it's going to get them with things. I'll keep them for now. I'll reassess game 3. Let's see, so I have 1 more card I want to cut. Maybe I just trim 1 Brazen Borrower. Alright, this seems fine. Yeah, I'll submit like this. We're on the play for game 2, if things load up correctly. Here's hoping. There we go, things loaded correctly. We're on the play. This hand has no lands, I'll mulligan. This hand has 2 Entombs, a Troll. It's fine, I'll keep it and get rid of an Entomb. And then I'll basically try to Sewers another land to the top, and then Troll for a land as well. Reanimate is also good, I'll keep that on top. Okay, so as long as I don't put into the universe the colorless land blowing up my... Oh no. Well, that happened. I got wastelanded here. This is a known risk. Like, but opponent's deck is not super fast, so eventually I should find a land. Spellbomb here, yep. A little annoying, but not the end of the world. Land? No. Okay. Well, that's a little bit of a problem. Let's try to find a land. I'm thinking opponent's probably playing a frog. Yep. Okay. And land. No, it's not a land. Okay, so at this point I think I have to probably discard a frog. Because I can 1-mana reanimate frog, which acts as a way to get into play. Another wasteland for my opponent. Bowmaster? Bones. Okay, even worse for me. Yep, this is looking rough. Looks like we're going to possibly be at a pretty quick 0-1 start to this event, but, you know, can rally back. Hopefully. I think I made the right decisions in this game for what it's worth. Okay, well, this troll is looking pretty embarrassing. It's going to be hard for me to discard this troll because Bones can just, like, take it and smack me with it. So I think I'm going to discard Entomb instead, given the Nihil Spellbomb my opponent has going here. Thoughtseize, yeah. Just tell my opponent they'll be round 1 of this next video. They played it really well, just absolutely crushed me. So, hoping that I can rally through. But, yeah. Opponents apologize. No, I kept the hand. And I was aware of the risk. I had into him. I made the upside. Riskier high upside play. Yeah. And then, yeah, loses to Wasteland. Waste. The opponent made the right play. Yeah, so it's good this way. So yeah, I'm gonna play a few more turns. Yeah, I am getting pretty wrecked here. Opponent is using their Bone Man to put my frog into play. So they draw an extra card off this. Now, the reason they're doing this is because I have no lands, and so by turning this into a 4/4, they're basically just able to shorten the clock. They're able to draw an extra card. And so they put me very far behind now. And I did draw a good draw. Almost as perfect as I can get. I'm going to get a basic swamp here. I'm going to attempt to fatal push the frog. See if this works. Probably won't. Yeah, it gets dazed. Okay. So on my next draw step, what would I need? Probably another fatal push. But regardless, I'm in big trouble here. Yeah, I had to get the basic swamp right there because otherwise it just gets wastelanded immediately by the Valley of Gorgoroth. Another Goyf coming in. Again, this is just to shorten the clock. And, yep, opponent's crashing in for 5, maybe 6. 6 doesn't matter because I'm dead next turn regardless. They could potentially hit me for 12 here. 12, 5 plus 6. They could hit me for 11. Because if they held back the Nether Goyf, actually, I was dead. Really minor and does not matter, but yeah, I was actually dead to damage at that point. Let's see here. So I did draw a Fatal Push. That's really funny. I don't think it's going to be enough because this is 7 damage and I'm at 7. And the frog can discard to kill me. Well, I mean, it's not good enough, but I'll try it, I guess. Okay, so if I kill the Bone Man, Nether Goyf grows to a 3/4. If they crack the spell bomb, it grows to a 4/5. Psychic Frog on its own kills me. I'm dead every single way that we slice this. And I think that my only way through it is just like kill the Bone Man and hope they don't activate Frog to kill me. Or they force it for fun. Okay. GG's. Alright, cool. I'll see you all for round 2. Hello, we're here for round 2 of the Showcase Challenge. We are on the play against Funky Monkey, who plays a variety of different decks. Let's see what our opening hand looks like. Opponent's revealing a Yorion, so that's worth noting. Means they're either on the Yorion control deck or Death in Texas. Either way is a possibility, to be honest. Um, I'm going to be a little bit cautious about getting wastelanded. Maybe it's just getting burned last time, but I'm gonna go basic Island Ponder here because I have another way to, look up to find another card here. I don't necessarily need to Thoughtseize turn 1. I'm much more interested in getting stable mana going and Thoughtseizing when I need to, when it counts. So let's go basic Island Ponder. Okay, so basic Island and Ponderuni. What do we find? Archon is actually quite good for us to have here because we can discard it to Psychic Frog. So I'm going to keep this and not shuffle. Yeah, Archon plus Frog is a built-in tomb. So we're quite happy about that. This does look to be Death and Taxes. Mother of Runes coming down. Yep. So that means that I'm going to play out this Frog. Just using that land. And then I'm going to discard Archon of Cruelty right before I reanimate it. There's no point letting my opponent in on our plan before I do that. Okay, so passing the turn over. Mother of Runes is sticking around. Stoneforge, Spirit. Okay. A little annoying, but not a huge deal. Let's discard this Archon of Cruelty and reanimate it. Of note, if they don't sacrifice if they sacrifice the mom and not the spirit, we don't draw a card, but that's fine. They still have to sacrifice a creature and discard. It's still a pretty good outcome for me. So yeah, they're giving the spirit protection, then they're going to sacrifice the mom. Makes sense. Oh, Solitude coming in too. Okay, so they're getting rid of the Archon now, I presume? Yeah. Okay, Solitude is gone. I can reanimate Solitude to get rid of the Spirit of the Lab. That's going to be good for me. Next turn. Not right now. Yeah, so opponent needs to sacrifice a creature and discard a card. I will not brainstorm into the Spirit of the Lab. I'm saying it out loud so I don't do it. That would be so bad. I would not draw the cards and I'd have to put 2 cards back. It'd be very tragic. Okay, so they've sacrificed Mother of Runes, discarded Cauldra. At this point, I don't think it's worth exiling these cards to deal 2 damage with Frog and not draw a card. I think I'd rather just hang back. So that's what I'm going to do. And then hopefully next turn I can reanimate this Solitude and get rid of the Spirit of the Lab. That looks to be happening. Great. Okay, very cool. And I could even do it off of Thoughtseize here. Thoughtseize first. Suppose why not? They're down to 1 card in hand. Seems worth looking at, seeing what's going on there. Okay, Skyclave Apparition. Is that better than getting rid of Solitude? Or like using Solitude? No, I think using Solitude is better because Solitude has lifelink and also they don't get the card back if they like flicker the Skyclave. So yeah, I'll reanimate Solitude. And I'll get rid of the Spirit of the Lab. I will connect with the Frog. I'll draw a card, and then I now am able to brainstorm safely. And I drew a Daze, which is really nice because my opponent plays a high impact 3-drop this turn, I can Daze it. And I will. They might just put Yorion to hand if they don't have anything better to do. Or concede the game. That works too. Okay, so sideboarding. So I'm anticipating a lot of graveyard hate. Atraxa being legendary, I think it's kind of a pain. I could cut like this and some couple animate deads to like insulate a little bit against getting the graveyard hit on me. Cameo is fine if I can like play it and flip it through a Caracas, so I kind of like it. Prison Barber's good at just bouncing annoying, Cauldron tokens, stuff like that. I'm kind of looking at these 8 as cards I want on the draw. I don't really think I want the Dazes. I think that the game's going to drag on long enough that the Dazes are going to be dead. And I don't really want to set myself back on mana too much. My cards are pretty expensive that I'm bringing in. So I think this can come out. Yeah. Let's try this for game 2. Okay, well, despite cutting some of the stuff, we're going to keep this. We've got Entomb Reanimate, and we've got a Stifle, which is actually quite good against a lot of the ways that my opponent will likely interact with me, like Fairy Macabre could be stifled and stuff like that, so I could actually protect this Entomb Reanimate pretty well. Opponent's on 6. I'm probably going to lead on Misty because I don't want to get Wastelanded immediately. Yeah, this file is a little annoying, but overall not too big of a deal. Yeah, I still don't want to get Wastelanded on this turn cycle because I want to have 2 mana available to me on turn 2 so that I can Stifle when I go for the Reanimate. Okay, Surveilling is just fine. Surveilled a card to the top. I will Entomb an Archon of Cruelty, I believe. I mean, I cut the Atraxa, so I'm saying that as if I have... I mean, I could technically do a Barrowglyph or something, but I think this is the call. I play the land, I'm going to reanimate the Archon, and if this gets Fairy Macabre, I can Stifle that. Just like this. Okay, cool. Stifle working as intended. Very cool. Happy about this. When I said nice, I said thanks. Yeah, that's why I put Stifles in the deck today, so cool to see it pay off pretty quickly. Drew another Reanimate also, so at the very minimum I have a Fairy Macabre that I could do that too. Opponent needs to find a way to remove this Archon from play just to be able to continue to play the game. And then I have a decent hand to follow up with. So looking good here. I guess Recruiter. Okay, so they're finding something good, probably like Stoneforge or Solitude. Solitude seems likely. Solitude it is. Yep, and the Solitude is getting cast immediately. And the Exile. Exiled a Skyclave. Okay, yeah. So at this point, I could reanimate the Solitude to get rid of the Recruiter. I think I will. And I can get a basic island here so that if I get Magus of the Moon, I'm able to at least function off of blue. I think I like that as well. So yeah, let's reanimate Solitude. And see if we're able to run away with the game. One's got no cards in hand. They've got a Yorion on deck, like they can get access to it. Yep. So now they have a Yorion in hand, and I can start crunching in with this frog. Let's attack. So I draw a card here. Happy about that. Barrowglyph, great. So Barrowglyph is the card I'm going to play just because it hits so much harder. And I can like very safely attack it into a Yorion. Wouldn't be surprised if this is like another Surveil land. Yep, okay, there we go. Opponent's looking for action. Grafter Cage is too little too late. It does grow my Barrowglyph, which is pretty convenient. Vial up to 4. So if they draw a land, they can cast Yorion, but that's not very good. I wonder what they're going to do here. Oh yeah, they got to plow the Barrowglyph. That makes sense. The Barrowglyph is like the biggest threat on the field. Literally. Okay, so now we attack. I could have done like a Surveil land with this, but I want to use it for Fatal Push action. So not worrying about that. Okay, now I'm got a Ponder and I can even shuffle. Okay, ooh, this is good. So I like all of these. I know my opponent's last card in hand is a Yorion, so I'm just going to brainstorm safely here. I can put away Underground Sea and Troll of Khazad-dûm. I can play this. I can fetch a basic Swamp. I can play a Ponder and then probably a second Frog. Okay, I like this, I think. Animate Dead is just going to get something back at some point. Something that dies. Yeah, this seems good. And then I can play out the Frog. Okay. Feeling good about this. Vial's up to 5, so Yorion can get vialed in now. But we'll see if that amounts to anything. Lion Sash is kind of annoying at answering this graveyard stuff, but does die to Fatal Push, so that part's good. Feeling like I'm in a very commanding position right now. So what I can do here is I can start off with the Fatal Push, I believe. This might motivate my opponent. Or actually no, I'm just going to discard. I'm trying to figure out how to organize this. Yeah. I'm going to exile 3 cards, go 1, 2, 3. Just going to basically jump both my frogs. 1, 2, 3. I'm not, or am I going to attack with Solitude? I guess so, because I'm planning to bounce the Yorion. Yeah, because I'm planning to bounce the Yorion, I can attack with Solitude. And then should be able to push damage and draw a bunch of cards. Okay, so Yorion comes in. And I will, at this point, Fatal Push the Lion Sash. And we will see. And then I'm going to bounce the Yorion back to hand after the decision on the trigger is made. So let's see here. Eating a Brainstorm doesn't gain life, so it's fine with me. Or it's just +1/+1 counter. It doesn't matter either way. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's fine. Okay, that's gone. Opponent resolves their trigger. And then I can Petty Theft the Yorion and connect. Could not deal lethal because I only go to 1 here, or only put my opponent to 1 here, but opponent says close enough. And we got the match. Very cool. I will see you all for round 3. Hello, we're here for round 3. We're against Valamoth on the play. I think this hand is solid. It's got a basic swamp for protection. It's got, multiple Thoughtseizes, Fatal Push. I like it. It's a little bit land heavy and doesn't quite combo, but on the play, having this Thoughtseize feels good to me. Devourer of Destiny, yeah, opponent's on Eldrazi. Let's, knowing that, let's get this Thoughtseize going. Okay, so Mycospawn, Thought-Knot Seer, Herald. So they got Wasteland Temple. I think I'm going to take the Thought-Knot Seer here. Then probably take the Mycospawn next turn. But the plan with this Thought-Knot Seer is I can reanimate it eventually. Oops, I discarded or closed out the hand, but we saw Devour, Mycospawn, Herald, and then Wasteland, Temple, and Yavimaya? I think that was the hand. Okay, so now I can at least track that. So probably Herald's coming down now. Yep. Okay, so Brainstorm is also nice. Let's see here. So maybe if I thought seize this turn, take the Mycospawn. They found a Chalice. I don't want them to have that, so I've got to take it. And then I will do some Surveil action here. Island. It's basic island, which is, good for being wasteland proof. But I'm actually okay if we just slow everything down a turn. And I'd like to draw more action. I have a bunch of, I have 2 more blue sources in my hand. They're firing off the wasteland anyway, which again is not a big deal for me. Pretty happy with that, I think. And let's see here. Force of Will. Okay, so I think this turn I'm going to Swamp Cycle and I'll get the Surveil land. And I'll try to set up a reanimation spell. Like that. Okay. So this will let me take the Mycospawn, because I'll reanimate their Thought-Knot Seer. And again, that's fine by me. Keeping this game small is totally good. Okay, so that was the reveal off Devourer of Destiny. Okay, so now we have Reanimate. Let's play this out. I'm going to reanimate the Thought-Knot Seer. And then this will take the Mycospawn. Probably. Okay, they have 2 Mycospawns now. That change anything about my plan? I don't think so. I think I still take one of the 2 Mycospawns. And then next turn, oops, that's fine, reveal that correctly. Next turn I will assess how I want to try to shut off their mana. Petal, huh? So I could force this Petal. Although I don't really love that play. Because they Mycospawn, then they get to Devourer of Destiny next turn. If they don't Mycospawn, they don't get to. Gross. Do I need to force this Petal? I think I'm going to Brainstorm here. Okay, we found a Daze and an Entomb. So if I force pitch Daze on the Petal, then I could potentially ponder into something to shut off their mana. I think that's my plan here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so ponder. Find a wasteland, ideally. Did not find a wasteland. I'm going to shuffle this. Found a land. So I'm going to attack with the Thought-Knot Seer here. There's no reason to show my opponent that I'm going to Fatal Push this Herald quite yet. We're not getting up to 6 mana. Okay, so Cavern is in. So I will need to blow up this Herald, unfortunately. But I don't need to do it quite yet. Let them make their choice here. The Devourer of Destiny is the last card in hand, so they will be able to, like, you know, get it next turn. I've done a lot of damage to myself this game between the 2 Thoughtseizes and the Reanimate. Devour's the only card left. So they got Eye of Ugin. I'm going to just destroy this Herald now because I know my plan. And can pass. Daze, okay. Use both Undercity Sewers, so there's no point surveilling yet. And now I just hang back, I believe. Because I lose the race, given I'm only at 6 life. Unfortunately, this Daze is not going to be able to stop this Devourer because of Cavern. Yeah. Now these trade, that's rough for me, but I gotta. I don't have a better way through it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Opponent could just cast Devourer of Destiny here, and I kind of hope they do. Because now I can daze it. Oh, Mecha's fun. Well, I am going to daze. Let's see, exile target land. So yeah, they're trying to exile that, so I will daze this just to protect my land. And I'll do it before they get their choice of land here, too. So I don't lose a land, which is nice. But this is not looking good for me. Cavern. Let's see what I find on the top. Another land is not going to do it, I don't think, but I mean, we'll see. I'll try. I'm only going to 4 this turn. So maybe I can answer the Devourer once it hits the field. Like I can somehow luck into getting an Archon into play. That would be the ideal situation here. I'm just figuring out how they want to cast their spells. Okay, Thought-Knot Seer first. Can't be countered and finds nothing. Correct. They're holding back the Devourer until they have a card they need to answer, which is the right way to do it. So I'm dead next turn to the attacks. And unfortunately, that is what it is. Okay, so into sideboarding. Maybe I should have gone for the Troll, but my fear was that I would lose Troll before I was able to do lethal damage. So against Eldrazi, I want Barrogoyf, I want Consigned Memories, I want probably Fatal Pushes, I want Harbinger of the Seas, I probably want Brazen Barber. These are the cards I'm looking at being quite good. Now, Tamiyo is not great. I don't really have time for her. I can cut a couple Ponders because I don't even have that much time to deal with them. Consign is an upgraded Stifle, so I don't necessarily need Stifles. Let's see here. I don't really want a pile of Forces or Dazes either, given all their Caverns and cast triggers and stuff. So these are like less exciting. Got 2 Forces and a Daze to bring in these things. I probably want the Fatal Pushes. Means I could cut the rest of the forces, or I could cut all of the dazes either way. I think I'm just going to cut the dazes. They make so much mana so fast that this is how I want to do things. Stifle can counter Macabre, I just realized, like the answer part of the reanimation stuff, so maybe I'll keep in the Stifles. And then I can cut the other two forces. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just play to the board. Got Consigned to Memory as like a technical counter. But other than that, I'm just going to play to the board and try to win on the board, and it makes Cavern a lot less good against me. But this has no lands. This has lands. It has Troll, Reanimate. Yeah, we're going to keep this. So I'm going to go Swamp, Thoughtseize opponent. And I'm going to put away the Undercity Sewers in this hand. Keep your Sewers. Opponent is on 7, so let's Thoughtseize. Okay, so Kozilek's Command and Fleshraker. So given this hand, the texture of my hand here, and the fact that I'm going to get the reanimation spell down next turn, I think I just take the Fleshraker and allow them to have a command. That's what I'm going to do. Because I'm just not going to give them very much time. So I'm going to cycle Troll for an Underground Sea. Going to play it. Going to reanimate it. And we're in. Okay. So let's try to win the race. Opponent's got a Kozilek's Command. That's about it. I've got lands. Chalice. Chalice. Okay. Chalice is in. The Temple is down. Well, Entomb doesn't work anymore, but that's okay. Let's just crash in with the Troll. And then I'll be surveilling to try to sculpt my draws at this point. I'm just trying to get this Troll to do the last few hits that it needs to do to win this game. Yavimaya will prevent the Tomb from doing more damage to itself if it has to. Opponent's paying costs. Maybe they're doing Kozilek's Command now. Yeah, they're X equals 3 to find like 3 blockers and trying to sculpt the top of their library. That makes sense to me. So let's see how they scry. They put 2 cards on top, 1 card on bottom, so they're pretty happy with what they've got going on. I'm going to do some surveilling now. Or as soon as the end step happens. Here we go. Undersea Sewers. Ponder I don't want because of Chalice. Otherwise it'd be great. Baraglyph is fantastic. So first thing is I'm going to attack with this Troll. Because I don't need them to know about Baraglyph when they're making their blocking decision. Yeah, I attack with Troll, I play Baraglyph. I assume they're going to triple block. This is the play that makes sense to me. Nope. Ultra Menace. Gotta triple block it. Nope, they're going to take the damage. Okay. This is why we held back the information about Baraglyph, because maybe that would have changed their calculus here, but either way, we have a Baraglyph now. And then I'll do another surveil on the end step to try to set up my next draw. Cavern. Yep. Eldrazi. Shocking. See what opponent plays. I would expect something like a Devourer of Destiny. That's my expected play from them. And it looks like I might be right. No, Kozilek's command. Making 3 more blockers and exiling my Barrowglyph. Yeah, that seems okay. Because now they need 3 more blockers. What else are they going to do? Nope, they're using their blockers. What they got? Devourer of Destiny? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure is. Okay, well that's rough. Yep. Happens though, there's nothing I can do about that. Let's surveil now. Undercity sewers. Be good to me. Animate dead. There is only a Fleshraker in the yard that I could hit. That, it becomes a 1/2. Which I believe is not enough. So I'm going to put this in my graveyard. Okay, hopefully something good. Shoot, well that's worse. But maybe I can like bounce the Chalice, get some Entomb Reanimate going. I'm going to be at 4 life, which is not very much. Not ideal at all. There's ways through this. Just got to have a good draw step right now. Given that I don't have Brainstorm anymore, and I have exactly 1 draw step, I'm going to fetch to thin. Honestly, it's the only way through this. I have some good draws. I have, see, good draws I have. Psychic Frog is okay. Brazen Bar was a great draw. Brazen Bar was the best draw. Barrowglyph is a good draw. I guess I don't have that many good draws. But here's hoping. Nope. I guess it's a blocker, so we'll try it. Yeah, so it enters, and it's a blocker. Not looking great, but treads water. Opponent does have a way through with Blast Zone. They do it correctly, which they appear to be. Yeah, they're putting the Blast Zone up to 2 so they can pop it and attack me for lethal with Devour. That's the right way to play this. It's unfortunate that I cannot stop it. They do not tap Tomb for life. Very sad. Alright, so this dies, and I die. Rough. GG. Okay. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, well, that did not go as planned. Yeah, got pretty annihilated in the showcase challenge. I was trying to make like a nice long 6-hour video for you today where, you know, I go through 9+ rounds of high stakes, high quality legacy. But yeah, it got cut short at 1-2. I just don't really want to play it out more. I want to get on with my day. A benefit of these events starting at 8 a.m. for me is it's currently around a little after 10. And so I can resign and go play tennis. So that's really what I'm going to do. Hopefully this did provide value to you, whether you're looking to play this deck and like see what can go wrong sometimes, or you're looking to play against this deck, which you often get volunteered to do given that it's everywhere, and looking for ways to beat it. Like, hey, what beats the deck? Well, we just saw. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I think my biggest mistake today, by the way, was that I was trying to change it up a little bit on the fetch land base. I cut my Flooded Strand for Scalding Tarn. I shouldn't have done that. So Flooded Strand, you're back. I'm sorry for ever doubting you. Hopefully we do better next time because we've got old trusty Flooded Strand with us. Anyway, yeah, that unfortunately concludes today. Hope you still enjoyed the video, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you did. See you all next week. Bye.